Yeah, I was a fan growing up. I think every one of the wrestlers that are in the business are fans. And when you say fans, they literally like the different characters. They fall in love with a character, and that's the key to the whole business. The guy who broke me in the business was Leon Ogle, and I started in 1977, which made me, and I was very fortunate. I had a lot of talent, uh, and Leon spotted that in me, and he was the son-in-law of Fred Ward, which will tie into a hell of a story later on during this as we go along. 1977, I was Rookie of the Year of the NWA, and also 1978, I was two-time Rookie of the Year. Only in wrestling can this happen.
So basically, you're a fan of the business, and it's something that you knew you wanted to get into.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how you broke into the business. How did you find somebody to train you and all that? How did that come?
Well, what happened was I literally, myself and another guy really kind of trained ourselves. And once I got to Leon kind of took me through the steps and kind of really broke me in the way that needed to be broken in. And I always asked Leon, I said, do I have the talent to do what needs to be done to do something in professional wrestling? He says, you have more than enough. I played 2 years of pro baseball. I was signed by Leo Mazzoni. And then when my arm went out, I needed to find something else to do. And so pro wrestling was kind of really an odd fit, but I really enjoyed doing it. And I was a good athlete. So I went into professional wrestling. And through Leon, I was able to do that.
Did he smarten you up to the business right away, or did he tell you on a need-to-know basis?
It wasn't so much smarten up as it was see if I could take the abuse. And when you look at the abuse that you do take as a professional wrestler, it's a lot. And it's like when I was doing the 2020 piece, they wanted to use the word fake. And I have a real problem with fake. I mean, because when I wake up every morning, what I feel in my bones and my body is not fake. And when you get suplexed off the top rope, or you get slammed, or you do a belly to back suplex, there's nothing fake about that, and it hurts you. Predetermined was a better word to use. Yes, it's predetermined. That's not a problem. But fake is a real problem, and that's where they ran into the problem. They didn't listen to me, early on in the game. And, I knew that I could take the punishment because I did. And I was one of the best bump men in the business.
Was the training more difficult than you thought?
God, I had gone through, when I started training, man, I trained on mats. I was never in a ring until right at the end when Leon got me in, excuse me. I've been training with two other guys. One was Leo, one was Ed. That's where Leo came in, not Leon. But we were working out on mats, gym mats at the YMCA. And you know how hard bumps are when that happens.
Without a doubt. Now, for you, what was harder for you to pick up? Learning how to bump or the psychology of the business?
Bumping came natural to me. I just love to take bumps, and Ray Stevens and myself were good buddies later on in my career, but bumps came natural to me. The psychology, I sat and watched great workers, and when I say great workers, I'm talking about Dory Funk, Terry Funk. I'm talking about Jody Hamilton, and other guys and the Jerry Jack Briscoe, Wahoo McDaniel. Those were my kind of mentors. That meant the world to me, and still are to this day, the ones that haven't passed on. And they're the ones that painted the picture. What's missing in professional wrestling today is the beginning, the middle, and the end. Everybody wants to take all these goofy bumps, but they don't mean anything. Bottom line is, you're a good guy or you're a bad guy. Stick to being a good guy if you're a good guy. Be a heel if you're going to be a heel, and don't worry about the rest. Get in that ring, entertain the people, and we used to call everything in the ring. Today, they make up all this crap in the locker room, and it just blows my mind that because in different towns and in different areas, you had to wrestle according to what the people would buy. It wasn't like saying, okay, tonight in St. Louis, Missouri, I'm going to just do this match because this is the moves I want to do. No. It's not that way. St. Louis wanted to see wrestling along with high spots and moving a little furniture. So you had to adjust your style depending on where you were. Los Angeles, things were wide open. Okay, they were used to seeing a lot of violence. So that's what you give them. You give them high spots, a lot of high flying, a lot of blood, a lot of furniture moving. Furniture moving is called hardcore. We were moving furniture way before the terminology hardcore ever came in existence. And then when you look at different towns, that's the key of the way you worked. It dictated what went on in the ring. The finish was the finish. You knew that going in. But what you did in between the beginning of the match and to the finish was what made you a star or made you a jabroni.
For you, I guess, what was the hardest thing for you to break into the business?
Was it hard for me to break into business?
Right.
It wasn't hard for me to break into business.
No, I mean, what was the hardest thing about breaking into the business back then for you?
Oh, the shock of the money.
Okay.
The shock of the money. And that was a real shock because what I had a real problem with, and I still do today, is wrestling fans think because you're on TV, this is called the myth. Let me explain the myth. The myth is where you're on TV, everybody thinks that you're rich and famous because they see you on TV each and every week. Well, in every other profession, that's the truth. But it's like I said before, Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves, but Abraham Lincoln forgot to free the pro wrestlers. So I had to take it upon myself when they screwed me to free the pro wrestlers. And that's what I did when I did 2020. I freed professional wrestlers to be able to make the money that they're making today. And I'm very proud of it. And you know something? Every guy that you meet, I don't care who it is, that signed an autograph from you, have done anything for you in professional wrestling, has sat in a locker room or driven in a car or sat on a plane and bitched and moaned about the way he's being treated. Well, when they blackballed me, I had told them if this happened, I was going to do something about it. So what I did is I shined the light on the big two fat rats in the junkyard, and they had to start paying professional wrestlers. And now that's why you see the guys making the money they're making today. It's because of me. I look at myself as more like the Kurt Flood of professional wrestling. And I'm very proud of that.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.